City Town Hall. My name is Beth Gaelic Carney, and I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Coppers Cove Chamber and Visitors Bureau. I'm also a member of the State of the City Committee, and tonight I will be serving as your MC. To begin our evening, please join us in welcoming our Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Vanya Hart, as she comes forward and leads us in the invocation and pledges to our nation and state flag.
Good evening, everyone. If you could please stand. Please, if you will, bow with me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time for us to gather as a community to reflect upon the accomplishments of our city. We ask you for your presence here tonight as we share heartfelt conversations. Father, we pray for peace in our community, our state, nation, and world. We pray for comfort to those who are suffering, blessing them with your love and mercy. We are thankful for all of your blessings, Father. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And please join me for our nation and state's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our state's flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may all be seated.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Hart. Now that we've officially opened the evening, I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank the organizations that helped make tonight possible. Tonight's event is proudly sponsored by Jimmy Clark Homes. Thank you for your continued and multi-year support of this event and for investing in our community. We would also like to thank HEB Plus for providing the refreshments this evening, and the Daisy and A&L Florist for the beautiful plants that you see around the room tonight. We truly appreciate all of your support. Now I'd like to recognize a few of our special guests joining us this evening. We'll begin with our mayor and city council members. Please hold your applause until the end. Mayor Dan Yancey, Mayor Pro Tem Vanya Hart, Christina Strophus, Rita Hogan, Howard Hawk, John Hale, Dale Treadway, and Jack Smith. We would also like to recognize our city manager, Ryan Haverlaw, along with his leadership team and the many city team members who work every day to keep our community moving forward. We are also grateful for the continued partnership of some of our outstanding community leaders, including Fred Welch, Economic Director of the Coppers Cove Economic Development Corporation, and Dr. Brent Hawkins, Superintendent of the Coppers Cove Independent School District. We'd also, go ahead. I'd also like to thank the State of the City Committee. Without them, this would not have been possible, so thank you very much for all your hard work. I'd also like to take a moment to thank all of you for being here tonight. The fact that you chose to spend part of your evening here says a lot about the kind of community Coppers Cove is. People who show up, stay involved, and care about where we live. So now I'll briefly walk you through how the evening will go. We'll begin with remarks from Mayor Yancey, followed by a town hall-style Q&A session led by our city manager. If you haven't submitted a question yet and would like to, you can still do so. Just stop by the check-in table where Miss Lisa is standing, write the question down, and drop it in the basket. If we run out of time to answer all the questions, those questions still will be shared with the appropriate city department, and someone will follow up with you afterward. Before we continue, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a loss that deeply affected our community earlier this year. On January 11th, the Coppers Cove community experienced the heartbreaking loss of police officer Elijah Garrettson. Officer Garrettson served this community with dedication, professionalism, and a steadfast commitment to protecting others. His sacrifice reminds us of the risks our first responders accept every day in service to our residents. We remain committed to honoring his memory by supporting his family, caring for our officers and firefighters, and continuing the mission of service he exemplified. Officer Garrettson's legacy will always remain part of this community. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to join me in a brief moment of reflection as we honor Officer Garrettson and the sacrifice he gave for our community. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce someone who truly cares about this community and the future of Copperas Cove. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Mayor of Copperas Cove, Mr. Dan D. Yancey, as he delivers the 2026 State of the City Address.
Can you hear me now? All right. Good evening, Copperas Cove residents, members of City Council, city staff, community partners, and distinguished guests. It's an honor to stand before you this evening to deliver the 2026 State of the City Address. Each year, this moment gives us the opportunity to reflect on where we've been, evaluate where we are, and define where we're going. Copperas Cove is a community built on resilience, service, and forward thinking. This evening, I am proud to once again report that State of the City is strong and growing stronger. As of January 2026, Copperas Cove's population stands at 41,669 residents. That represents a growth rate of approximately 2.5%. Growth is something we must prepare for, manage responsibly, and use as an opportunity to strengthen our community. Over the past year, City Council has aligned economic development, infrastructure, quality of life, public safety priorities with policy, funding, and actions. We are not reacting to growth, we are guiding it. In 2025, we discussed more than $14 million in infrastructure grants supporting industrial development along State Highway 9 and US Highway 190. In 2026, those investments are under construction. Site readiness along State Highway 9 continues to position Copperas Cove competitively within Central Texas. Fort Hood's support regarding the truck rail multimodal facility is being advanced through Economic Development Corporation's marketing to interested short-term rail operators. Our geographic location along Interstate 14, also known as US 190, and between Interstate 35 and State Highway 281 makes us uniquely positioned as a regional logistics and industrial hub. I'm also very happy to share that Copperas Cove is the selected location for a new Veterans Administration clinic. It's a big deal, y'all. The 250,000 square foot clinic is expected to bring 500 new professional healthcare jobs. This is one of the most important economic influences in the history of Copperas Cove. We're diversifying our tax base while protecting the character of our community. Our investments not only strengthen the tax base, but also create jobs and opportunities for our residents and draw workforce from other communities. Economic development is not just about growth, it's about responsible sustainability. Water remains one of the most critical long-term priorities for Copperas Cove. Following lessons learned from Winter Storm Uri in 2021, Installation of backup generators at key water facilities has been completed, strengthening system resilience. The regional water treatment plant expansion remains on schedule, adding 7 million gallons of treated water capacity per day by 2028. The Aquifer Storage and Recovery Project, known as ASR, in partnership with Fort Hood and Bell County WCID No. 1, proved successful, and now Copperas Cove is working with Bell County WCID No. 1 to develop our own ASR partnership with other regional cities and the Central Texas Water Authority. This project strengthens drought resilience and provides operational flexibility during periods of low lake levels. We continue to pursue additional raw water opportunities and regional collaboration through the CTWA initiative. Based on projected growth trends, our raw water rights planning benchmark remains near 2040. That is not a crisis. It's a timeline for preparation. Water planning is not measured in years. It's measured in generations. The decisions we make today will serve residents beyond 2050. Infrastructure is foundational and may not always be visible, but it supports everything we do, from the roads we drive to the water we rely on every day. Reconstruction of Oak Hill Drive and Deer Flat Drive are complete. The State Highway 9 to Business US 190 westbound interchange is fully operational. Neighborhood street rehabilitation continued this past year. In 2025, the city held 7 town halls to receive residential and commercial comments and recommendations for the street maintenance utility program and fee. Based on those comments and recommendations, City Council reviewed the program, significantly modified the proposed fees, and adopted the street maintenance utility. The fee was initiated in January 2026, and we are beginning the engineering design for select projects to be constructed in the summer of 2026. We are using data-driven pavement management strategies to prioritize repairs and extend roadway lifespan. Preventive maintenance today saves millions tomorrow. The TxDOT expansion of US 190, the first extension of the Interstate 14 corridor, began in 2026 and will widen the highway to 4 lanes at a cost of $107.5 million. Expected to be completed around 2029. And of course, you know how roadway projects go. The project will improve safety, increase capacity, and strengthen regional and statewide connectivity for Copperas Cove. Our parks remain the heart of our community. Thousands of residents gathered in our parks last year, reminding us that public spaces are where community truly comes alive. The Duck Pond improvements have become a focal point for families and visitors. The hashtag Cove sign became viral and causes our city to be immediately recognized throughout the region and state. Ball field lighting upgrades are allowing games and practices to occur into the evening hours, supporting the growing number of youth athletes in adult sports. Participation in youth sports programs in 2025 increased 7%. We are evaluating the feasibility of a sports complex and updates to the long-term Parks Master Plan to ensure amenities keep pace with growth. Quality of life is not an afterthought. It's central to why families choose Copperas Cove as their home. The new Copperas Cove Animal Care Center, located right down the street here, is fully operational, and a ribbon cutting and community open house is anticipated on April 7th of this year. In 2025, the animal shelter adopted 347 animals and had a release rate of 70%. The new senior center at 2400 Walker Place Boulevard is nearing completion. With a scheduled grand opening and ribbon cutting on March 16th, 2026 at 2 p.m. So mark that down. This $3.6 million investment reflects our commitment to serving residents of every generation. We are sincerely appreciative of the strong partnership we have with Hill Country Community Action Association, who assumed operational management of the center in 2023. In November 2024, nearly 60% of voters approved a tax rate adjustment to support public safety pay. That decision continues to make a measurable difference. As of 2026, police staffing is at 90%. Fire staffing is at 100%. Average police response time is 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Average fire and EMS response time is 7 minutes and 58 seconds. Recruitment and retention have improved. Investments in equipment, training, and technology are ongoing. Public safety is the foundation of community stability. Our fire department also welcomed new leadership this year with the hiring of Chief Doug Mathagis. Where is he? He's right back there. Okay. Along with maintaining operational excellence, the department is expanding its focus on community engagement and fire prevention. Through public safety education and increased presence at community events, our firefighters are strengthening partnerships with residents while promoting a safer community. City Council adopted a fiscal year 2026 budget in September 2025, totaling $78 million. This budget funds all the services we all receive on a daily basis. The general fund balance is 148% of expenditures, the strongest it's ever been. The city's bond rating remains strong at a AA- rating. We continue leveraging regional, state, and federal funding whenever possible. Strategic planning and disciplined budgeting allows us to invest while maintaining stability. As we move forward, priorities include continued water supply development, industrial and commercial recruitment, long-range transportation planning, infrastructure funding strategies, technology upgrades to improve city service delivery. Copperas Cove stands at a pivotal moment. Growth is here. Opportunity is here. Improvements are constant, and preparation is ongoing. Our city's next chapter will include investments in economic opportunities, recreation, and transportation to further serve our future. We're a city built by people who believe in service, community, and opportunity. The work we are doing now ensures that the next generation will inherit a city even stronger than the one we enjoy today. We honor our history. We strengthen our present. And we are building a future defined by preparation, opportunity, and resilience. The state of our city is strong. God bless Copperas Cove, and may He continue to bless the great state of Texas and the USA.
Thank you, Mayor Yancey, for sharing your vision and updates for our city. Well, that concludes the formal address. A portion of the evening, we're not finished just yet. Now we'll move into the town hall portion of the program where you'll have the opportunity to hear directly from city leadership. Please help me welcome our city manager, Ryan Haverlaw, as we begin the Q&A portion of tonight's event.
Well, good evening. As Beth said, my name is Ryan Haverlaw. I'm the city manager here. City Council blessed me with the opportunity to be city manager 8 years ago. And it has been a very quick 8 years. Before we get much further into the Q&A and we talk about the Q&A process, I just want to say one more time, thank you to our primary sponsor, Jimmy Clark Homes. Mr. Jimmy Clark, you walked in earlier. Thank you very much for sponsoring this event for multiple years. Please give him a round of applause. And this event only occurs because there's a group of people, as Beth said, it's the State of the City Committee. So those who are on the committee, please raise your hand. Y'all look around and see who these people are, because these are the people who make this possible. They help put all of this together. And I'll tell you what they've done. They have reduced the planning for this event. I love efficiency. They've reduced this event from a 9-month process, which is what it used to be, almost 12 months, to about a 3-month process or less. I think the first time we met was in December, and here we are in March, and I think we've only met about 4 times. So it's an amazing thing. Mr. Kevin Keller, who's right there with the phone trying to take a picture of me, y'all give it up for him. Kevin is the organizer of all of this. We have lots of other names for him as well. We don't have to talk about those, but we'll say that he is a phenomenal guy that helps put all this together. And I want to say thank you to our IT team. They're sitting over here. Y'all raise your hands. Come on. There we go. They make sure that you can hear me when I'm up here. Yeah, didn't hear that. They make sure y'all can hear us when we're up here. They make sure the screen's all good and everything that we have. They allow us to actually type up all the stuff that we do. So thank y'all very much. Y'all are phenomenal. Make my computer faster, please. Okay, so we have Q&A that we want to do. Before I go past that, take a look around. All the way around the edge of this room, all of our partners, all of our city team members are here, and they are here to serve you. And that is what city service is all about, customer service. So thank you all for being here and serving tonight and every single day of the year. Y'all give them a round of applause. And I can't go on without saying thank you to my bosses, and I do have 8 bosses. It's the mayor and all the council. Thank y'all very much. And where's my other councilman? Oh, there he is. He's hiding in the back. He's always hiding in the back. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Okay, so Q&A. Here's what we're doing. We have lots of questions submitted to us, and we're going to allow Miss Beth to actually read those questions. Mayor Yancey and I are going to do our best to answer those questions. There may come a time where we may have to invite some people up to help answer some of those questions. And so our team members and partners that are around the room, don't be surprised if I call you out and ask you to come up here and talk with us as we're talking through these questions. So with all of that being said, I'm going to allow Ms. Beth to ask our first question.
Thank you, Ryan. First question, T-Mobile destroyed my 2 driveways last March in 2025. When will they be repaired? I'm told I'm on a waiting list, but we are now a year later. Help.
Okay, so first question is, who signed up for T-Mobile? No, don't answer that. Don't answer that. I'm just playing. Okay, so T-Fiber is actually the company that is now the company that took over a lot of the fiber installation. It was Metronet. and we have no problem calling them out. We actually have a relationship with that organization because of the complaints that we got and the issues that have occurred because of the installation of their fiber. If you have an outstanding repair that needs to be done, contact the city. We have a direct relationship with the representative with T-Fiber that we will make sure that your concern gets to them. They contact you. They usually communicate back with us and say, hey, this is what we did for that customer. So please contact us. We'll put you in touch with T-Fiber representatives.
Thank you. Next question. It's multi-part. What is the status of Coppers Cove growing and annex in the Lutheran Church Road? Does the city have any plans on annexing everyone on the entire road or just the end of it?
Mayor, I'm going to kind of take that, or do you want to say anything about it? Okay. Okay. Okay, so local government annexation has changed greatly over the last couple of decades. Cities cannot involuntarily annex property anymore. If cities tried to do that, it actually goes on a ballot, and those that are in the annexation or proposed annexation area get to vote. Yes, I want to be annexed, or no, I don't want to be annexed. So quite honestly, it's become almost impossible to involuntarily annex any property anymore. City Council City Council has the option to consider annexing a large parcel of property off of Lutheran Church Road. That opportunity exists through what is called a development agreement with a single developer that owns the land. So it's one property owner. They can petition the city to be annexed into the city. And then that goes to City Council, and we go through our legislative process, regulatory process to annex that area that we created an agreement with that developer. City Council actually approved an agreement with the developer. That agreement has not yet been executed. So that means right now there is no annexation on the table to even annex any property. And just so you're fully aware, because it is a public document at this point, the annexation of that area does include some developer responsibilities to work with the city to improve the roadways in that area. It's not fully defined what those improvements are. We don't know what they'll be until, one, the agreement is actually executed, the one that City Council approved, and two, there's a study that must be done in order for us to understand what improvements are needed, and then we can kind of negotiate that with the developer and make sure City Council is in agreement with those negotiated steps. Did that answer all the questions, Beth? Okay, very good.
Next question. Any planning or discussion with TxDOT for a connection with Highway 9 and I-14 South Side for a partial loop road around Coppers Cove?
Short answer to that is yes. There's been discussions. There are no projects planned. There are no long-range projects in the planning process yet. We do work with the Killeen Temple Metropolitan Planning Organization, so we're a member of the K-Tempo organization, and City Council approves projects that we apply with K-Tempo. Then our region, which includes Killeen and Belton and Temple and Harker Heights and Salado, Bell County, Coryell County, all of our member organizations score those projects. And so whatever projects score the highest, those are the projects that get the funding. So that project in particular has not been even conceptually designed or submitted to K-Tempo yet. I would encourage you to look at K-Tempo's planning documents or look at City Council's agendas on what projects were submitted, because those projects impact the way you drive around town and through town.
And certainly, if you notice something or you're involved in a roadway area that looks like it needs improvement, contact city. Let them know. We have a list of projects that we are looking at and trying to match funding with those projects. You hear me now? Okay. Match funding with projects, but it takes a while, and not everything gets done at once. It's a supply and demand type of situation, and so we want that loop. There's no question about that, but that's going to be a fairly costly one. There's going to have to be some right-of-way acquisition, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Probably, most likely. And all that involves time and money. So just stay with it. Talking about staying with it, this VA project that's here in Coppers Cove didn't happen overnight. It took almost 4 years for that to come to fruition. It takes time. And project, we're in a society that we're used to instant gratification, and you just can't make that happen. And when you're dealing with several different entities, particularly anything involved with the government, it takes time. But it paid off. It's a huge, huge win for Coppers Cove, and we will reap the benefits for decades to come.
Thank you. Next question, can a presentation on the revised new bypass be presented on how this new road will look in the future?
That's a good question. We can definitely work with TxDOT to see if we can consider that. Just a verbal description of what that's going to look like. One, TxDOT has begun that project. If you haven't noticed, some traffic lanes have changed. So if your car self-drives, mine doesn't. If your car self-drives, I would just say pay attention when you're on the US 190 bypass for the next 2 years, because that's how long the project is going to take. And there are already lane changes implemented out there. So please be careful, be cautious. There are going to be workers out there. There's going to be other drivers out there. And we're trying to make that roadway safer by this project. So description. Right now, we have 2 lanes all on the same road surface. They're going opposite directions, east and west. Just imagine, on the north side, or the side that's closer to the downtown of Coppers Cove, of the existing roadway, there's going to be a separated additional 2 lanes installed. That will be westbound traffic, so that's traffic going from Killeen through Coppers Cove to Lampasas. And the existing roadway will be eastbound, so going from Lampasas to Killeen. There will be the addition of 6 new bridges, which includes an entirely new overpass at FM 2657. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. This is actually a very exciting project. As the mayor said, it's over $107 million so far. That doesn't include change orders yet. Just remember, it's a roadway project that's going to last more than 2 years. And the west side, going from FM 2657 moving west to Kempner, that project's already being designed. So if you didn't know that, I would encourage you, get a hold of the Brownwood TxDOT District, sign up for their newsletters and notifications, because they have already held a series of town hall meetings or public meetings to receive input on their design moving west. It's going to continue building out I-14. The east extension from I-35 moving east, that's already in design phase. So I-14 is going to be built out relatively quickly. And when I say relatively, we're talking about generations of full build out, right? But for us, right here, right now, it's being built out fairly quickly.
Next question is also multi-part. What are the plans to bring more businesses to Cove? And are there plans for working on a bike path / sidewalk to make it easier to get from downtown to City Park?
Mayor, would you like to talk about the new business effort? And I can supplement that. And I'm going to ask Mr. Fred Welch to join us up here while you're talking, sir.
As I mentioned earlier, the VA project is 250,000 square feet, 500 new professional healthcare jobs. That's the start. And you can, as you well can imagine, there will be ancillary services that will want to locate in Copperas Cove and be in the same general area as that VA clinic. This clinic is a state-of-the-art clinic. It can do everything except for major surgical procedures. Everything short of that, I guess that would be referred to Darnall, but everything else could be handled right there. And so the opportunity that you have as residents of Cove, have something in your backyard, is tremendous. It's a great, where it's located is the best possible location. We didn't start that process. The VA started that process and asked for input. And there were a number of projects that were submitted, but 3 possible sites were in the final selection process. And this particular site gave the big thing that it did, the thing that was so positive about it was the ease of access to that facility. And that project's going on, and it's going to take 2.5 years too, I believe, something like that. And so that and the other 2 lanes of the bypass will dovetail into each other, and they'll be completed at pretty close to the same time, which allows even greater access. But those, you will see more growth occur because of that one big facility that is locating there. And I just can't, you want to say something?
Mayor, you seem to be very excited about this VA clinic.
I didn't know that you noticed that, but I've been on Economic Development Corporation. I've been involved in city council, and basically for 20-something years. This is a big one. This is a big one, and I do not want anybody to underestimate what this will mean for Copperas Cove. The key to the whole deal is you have responsible council members that are managing growth and not just willy-nilly and not just doing things just to be doing things, that have a purpose in mind, that we allow our city to grow in a responsible manner. There's going to be aches and pains. There's going to be things that come up, but and I've said this many times, you're a city that's either growing or you're a city that's dying. And if you want to grow, then figure that out and manage it. And that's what we are doing the very best that we possibly can. And I think that you will be very pleased over the course of the next 5 to 10 years of the changes that are made that are positive.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm going to invite our Executive Director of the Economic Development Corporation to come up. And as he's coming up, give him a round of applause, because he is one of the great reasons why the VA facility is coming here. Fred took a lot of great effort of communicating with our federal elected officials so that Copperas Cove could be selected. So Fred, why don't you talk about what we're doing to bring new business to Copperas Cove?
Well, it's a team effort, and it started not only with this project, but we can go back over the last 3 years where we've gone through a process both with the Economic Development Corporation and with our city council in putting together a strategic plan. I'm coming 30 years out of Army active reserve, and if you don't have a plan, you don't have a way to get there. So we adopted a strategic plan really last year, about February or March of this time. In that, there were identified some priorities where we would like to find what we could do in targeted industries. Healthcare happened to be one of those. And we happen to have been working on healthcare for about 3 years. But regardless of the outcome of the VA project, now we have a catalyst. So that catalyst means we got to put our planning hats back on around that area there within where that clinic is going up to really capture a vision of what can be in that area and what should be. And then we go out and we will look at that vision. Our team is out not only looking at new business opportunities as we work with both our regional allies and our state allies, but also right here locally, working with local businesses so that we've got the infrastructure, the facilities, and the help in place to retain the businesses that are here as we attract new opportunities. We have about 24 acres that we purchased 2 years ago with an option on about 28 more that will become a modified, we'll call it industrial district, where we could do warehousing distribution, where we could do light manufacturing. We really didn't have that capacity before, so we're opening up the area for new opportunities. From a planning perspective, we've got a lot of land around on the southwest side of town where Interstate 14 is about to end. Again, working with City Council on the future land use plan, how we can grow more commercial and light industrial development on that side. Some of that relates to infrastructure. So there are tools that City Council is going to be looking at here very shortly that will assist, and I'll use the term public-private partnerships, how we leverage the development community with the assets of the city so it doesn't become a burden on you and me and begin to pay for that future infrastructure. So it's a combination, it's a team effort. I keep Sean back here on the road probably all too much. He gets to see his wife once in a while. Sheena working with Kevin here to get the message out, the image. We're going through a whole image process here now of who are we? I mean, if you go 30 miles south of here inside from Copper's Cove, you might get some deer in the headlight looks, So we're working on that image. We're out there. We're being looked at now, and that's the future right now, Ryan.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Welch.
Thank you.
So I know that there's second parts of this question, but just going back to the VA facility, there's actually a regional partner. The VA specifically asked this question, and it was essential that the answer be yes. And that is there public transit that will access or be able to connect to the new VA facility? We have one of our partners over here with the HOP, or the Hill Country Transit District, who's joined us this evening, and they have provided a commitment that, yes, we'll connect with the VA facility. And if you haven't ridden public transit yet, it's totally different than the bus that just goes from one stop to another stop to another stop. It is Uber and Lyft style transit services that were implemented over a year ago and have been very successful in the entire region. So thank you all for your partnership with us. But bringing new business, if you have been watching and driving around town, you've probably seen that there's a number of new businesses that have already located, built new buildings, renovated existing buildings, or raised buildings and then built new buildings on top of those raised locations all the way through town. Our development and planning services and building department have been phenomenal in that, and there has been a really quiet effort that was taken. Now, it took a long time, and City Council just adopted new building codes. And for our community, that is a tremendous action, because a lot of the developers and builders, they plan for the new building codes. We are there, folks. And that is a great thing. So thank y'all for all y'all's support in our city. But we have quite a few new businesses that are still planning and going through the development process right now. So as you're driving through town, you'll see some of those new businesses being built and coming in. Bike lanes, you said, from downtown to City Park, correct?
Yes, sir.
To City Park. There are no currently planned bike lanes going from downtown to City Park. However, we have our first bike lane in town. Does anybody know that? Who knows that? Raise your hand. Wow, so few people. It's actually on Business 190 from Avenue D to Constitution. Not everybody is a fan of it, and that's okay. When they started building bike lanes in other communities, it was a learning process, and it was a tough process to learn. Is our community all the way there yet? I don't know that we are. Can we be? Yes, we can be. I just don't know when that is. And so hopefully we'll see some connectivity with trails between some of our parks and some of our regional partners as well. There's actually a regional, what is it called, Mr. Stoddard? Bike ped plan? Something like that? A regional bike ped plan, pedestrian plan, that actually connects cities and outdoor facilities and parks and stuff like that. It's a really innovative plan that can help get all generations outside, which I'm a big fan of. Get outside. Yes, ma'am.
Next question. With new entrance and exit ramps on Highway 9, is Fort Hood still planning a shipping and receiving center at the west gate?
The answer to that is yes, and it's so that all commercial truck traffic that goes on to Fort Hood, they'll move all of that activity from Clark Road, which is at Interstate 14. They will move it to Tank Destroyer Road right off of State Highway 9 with the Economic Development Corporation's help and some of our other regional partners, such as the Heart of Texas Defense Alliance. We secured a $10.3 million grant. Oh, and I can't leave out Fort Hood. They were instrumental in getting that. A $10.3 million grant, which is paying for all of that ramp construction. None of that is local dollars that were allocated by City Council or the EDC. In fact, TxDOT stepped up to pay the other and commit the other $2 million. So it's a $12 million project, budgeted $12 million project. And so none of that was local dollars. That was all local time and effort to get those grants. But yes, move all that commercial traffic onto Tank Destroyer Road. Hopefully we can build a multimodal truck rail facility, which will be privately operated on Fort Hood in partnership with Fort Hood, which can then double in the event we have some type of national deployment need to move all of our troops or battalions of troops out of Fort Hood to go keep America free and safe again.
Next question. Can you talk about the potential impact of data centers and rapid growth in the area pertaining to water supply and water rates?
You want me to talk about that, Mayor? Okay.
I like passing the buck. He's doing a great job.
I just need somebody to ask me a Coppers Cove Independent School District question because I want to punt the ball. I'm just waiting for it. And I know Superintendent Hawkins is just waiting for it to happen because he's ready to catch it. Okay, data centers. Yet, there's a lot of news about data centers. Many communities are actually taking efforts to stop the construction of data centers in their communities. Why? Because they use a lot of water, as you said, and a lot of electricity. It takes a lot of electricity because you got to cool those places, not just run them, but cool them is the big piece. Water is used to help cool those facilities as well. Coppers Cove is not actively trying to bring any data centers to our community. Fort Hood, and this is all public information, so I'm not sharing anything that's classified or not public, but Fort Hood, it's actually Department of Defense, actually released a request for information and proposals to build data centers. Fort Hood is a proposed location to build the data center. Proposed, okay? I don't know what's going on with that, except that the proposed location is on the west side of Fort Hood, which is right next to Copper's Cove. And if that facility is selected to go onto Fort Hood, whatever company is awarded that contract would have to work to secure electricity and water on their own. Copper's Cove is the closest location for water and wastewater services. I don't know what that looks like. Here's what I do know. Tiny bit of research, and with the help of one of your council members, Mr. Treadway, he has shared quite a bit of information with me about data centers over the last few months. But data centers are becoming more efficient, which means they're understanding the fact that they are energy and water hogs. They recognize that. So they're trying to develop facilities that don't use as much electricity and water. I don't know if that's going to be a facility that's proposed near us or not. I do know that there's a data center in the city of Temple, and that data center uses less water than most other data centers do. I don't know exactly how much water they use or don't use. But I would also say that a data center that's going to be on Fort Hood that we might have to provide water to or have the opportunity to provide water to, we will never be forced to. We'll never be forced to. But I think our governing body would consider that a contractual relationship, not just a relationship based on our existing fee schedule. So I don't have a clear answer, and I'm sorry about that. But I will be very transparent as I've been so far with you and tell you there's lots of opportunities, options, and construction builds that are out there. And especially in working with our team and our assistant city manager and public works director, Scott Osborne, he's sitting over here. He and I have talked about this briefly. Who is Copper's Cove's priority? It's our residents. Making sure that you have the water for now and in the future is our priority. That's the number one priority. Hopefully that answers the question.
Next question, is there any planning for an indoor pool, indoor basketball court, and indoor handball or pickleball courts?
Indoor pool. Yeah, okay. They have a volunteer right over here.
They're going to build one.
We'll
Way
find
to go.
out.
I appreciate it.
We're going to find out when they can enclose their pool. Who? Nobody wants to volunteer. Okay. Okay, so there are no existing plans to create an indoor pool in Copper's Cove. Here's the exciting thing, okay? As a city organization, we try to develop our existing team members into greater leaders than what they are. And we have what is called the Development and Leadership Academy. So we bring our team members in and we talk about leadership styles and expectations and way to lead people. And then at the end of that class, we call it DLA. At the end of DLA, our students, our team members, the people who serve you every single day, they have to bring a project and present it to our leadership team that is something that we don't do right now and something that is unique.
Outside the box.
Outside of the box. One of our team members presented an indoor water park in Copper's Cove. Now, we just talked about water, right? Well, most indoor water parks actually recycle and clean their water. So they are not large water users in the sense that they're just using water and it's going down the drain, okay? There are cities that are building indoor water parks, and I'm not saying we're doing this. We don't have any plans to do this, but it's just an exciting idea. Thinking outside of the box is wonderful. So if somebody out here is asking about an indoor pool, talk to us. You may be the champion, and that's an official term, to help do something great in Copperas Cove. By you asking the question, get involved in the city. We have a quality of life committee. They're all volunteers, and they all have great ideas. Be a great idea champion. Bring those ideas to city staff. Let us go through the feasibility, the planning process. You know, we have a bypass called US 190 about to be I-14, about to expand to 2 lanes, $107 million. That didn't happen by not thinking about it and somebody asking the question, why don't we do that? And it took years for it to happen. That's a great idea. Let's consider it. Get on the quality of life committee. Join other people in your city that are thinking of those out-of-the-box ideas to do other things. Now, I focused on the indoor pool. What were the other items?
Indoor basketball, handball, and pickleball.
Oh, great. Okay, indoor basketball, handball, and pickleball. I'm not quite sure what handball is, but I know what pickleball is. So we currently have a sports complex feasibility study. There is a survey out there. Mr. Stoddard, is it on the city website? Yes, and you're pointing at something. What are you pointing at? We got a QR code at the table over here, Parks and Rec. Go scan that QR code with your device. Take our survey. Tell us, hey, we want an indoor basketball, handball, and pickleball court. Okay, but we need your thoughts and opinions so that the governing body, the people that you've elected into office and I've helped elect into office, they help make those decisions on what we're going to pursue. So that's really important. But we also have a park that's called Rhodey Park. Rhodey Park is intended long-range desire to have an adaptive needs park, which will include an indoor sports facility for adaptive needs and can probably be used for other purposes as well. So if you are interested in supporting that, we're about to kick off a fundraising effort so that we can begin doing fundraising with private entities and foundations and grants so that we can help build that park as well. Thank you.
Next question. During a workshop at the end of last year, priorities were set to guide the mission of the city. What is the status of the work to be performed downtown, and is there positive feedback to reestablish a downtown association?
Yeah, that's another good question. Mayor, we went through a process of talking about downtown, and City Council provides some affirming information that we actually have a downtown master plan. Back in 2018, City Council at that time took action and said, we don't want to follow that downtown master plan. So we created a comprehensive plan that no longer included the downtown master plan. We've looked at that downtown master plan. Now, it was created years ago, but it's a good plan. So City Council provided us direction, bring that plan back, let us look at it again. Maybe we can affirm that plan because it's still a good plan. And the Economic Development Corporation recently had the Texas Downtown Association come to Copperas Cove. It was over, Sean, it was over about 2 days, right? Yeah, over 2 days. They visited with downtown businesses. They held public meetings. Hopefully some of you attended those meetings and provided input. They've provided us a pretty comprehensive report about improvements we need to do downtown. There's nothing budgeted yet to do improvements downtown except for replacing water lines. That's probably the start of it. Those things are underground. So we don't need to improve sidewalks and roadways until we deal with stuff underground, because guess what? We'll be digging up all the stuff that we did above ground again. So that's a great step. We actually have water lines designed to be replaced. We bid that out. We bid that out in what, 2020, 2021, somewhere around there? If you didn't know, there's this thing called COVID that happened in 2020, and everything skyrocketed in price, including construction cost. And so we had to reject those bids. We had to shelve those plans until we can reallocate funding. The city council can reallocate funding to actually replace those water lines. It's not a dead project, but you have multiple organizations trying to support downtown. The Economic Development Corporation is located in a downtown area. The Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau moved their primary offices downtown. We have numerous businesses that have developed, renovated buildings, purchased buildings, put in businesses downtown. It is becoming a very vibrant downtown. And if you've not been to any of the downtown festivals, go. It's exciting and it's fun, and there's great food and other stuff.
And if you haven't been to downtown, I would really recommend you try, because there are a couple of new restaurants there. My wife and I went last Friday and had to wait 45 minutes for our food, which tells you what? It's becoming popular. Things are happening downtown that had never happened in the past. And it takes people that are willing to think outside the box a little bit, do something a little bit different, and follow through on all of that. And it's not just the city that has to make this happen. It's all of you that are out there thinking outside the box. How can you leverage different aspects of what's out there and see what the future could be? It's going to be amazing. Everything about what's happening, and I sound like a cheerleader, and I am, but what's happening in Cove are things that are so positive. Will there be some problems along the way? Yes. But the positives far outweigh the negatives, and we will see some great things happening here. And, while I'm on my soapbox, we talk about the VA clinic. Have y'all heard that we're getting a VA clinic? Okay. That is by far not the only thing that's going on. There are other large projects and businesses that are looking to locate in and around Coppers Cove. So nobody's resting on any laurels. It's keep pushing forward. And the things that we're doing now might not come to fruition for 2 or 3 or 4 years, just like this project here. But you will see some really tremendous things happening in the future of Coppers Cove.
Next question. There has been a lot of talk on community forums about the cost of the new city logo. How much has the city spent so far, and how much will its total cost be?
All right, I'm taking that one. Okay, I'm going to answer a different question. I'll answer that one in a moment, but I'm going to answer a different question first, and that is, why did we even change the logo? Oh yeah, I hear it out there. I hear you. Okay, so in 2020 and in 2019 and 2020, City Council was talking about the future of Coppers Cove, where we're at, where we want to go, and City Council brought up the topic of, we've had our logo for a long time. Maybe we should consider looking at changing our logo.
Because lots of people were complaining about it.
Why,
Lots of people.
why would they complain about it, Mayor?
Well, because it looked like eyebrows, it looked like this, it looked like that. It was the city of Five Hills, but you had to know that. And anybody that didn't know that couldn't figure out what the logo stood for. And immediately it had a lot of backlash to it. And so, and this has been going on for, I don't know, I think 15 years, something like that. And now, and one of the things that we're looking at as far as council and everything is what we've been talking about, our vision. what's our identity? What do we want to be? What do we want to be known for? And things like, and those things, we are a lot of things to a lot of people, but we're not known for any one thing. And that's what we need to figure out what that is, and then we can marshal resources to make that happen, and then we all become successful because of that.
And so I'd like to say thank you to the community members, to our team members, to the council members who all participated in a multi-year process of developing a new logo. This wasn't the first logo that came up. In fact, quite honestly, it was the last logo because that's the one that was adopted by the council. And a logo is not an identity. It's not. When I came here 15 years ago, it's been a very fast 15 years. I did have to ask for an explanation of what is the city's logo because I didn't know what it was. It takes an explanation for it. Well, we're not here to explain our logo. We're here to provide service to our residents. The logo is not the service. The logo is not our identity. The logo is, it's just something that can be associated with who we are eventually. And that is what City Council eventually adopted. It is two C's that has the state of Texas in the middle with a star that actually represents Copperas Cove. And so it is something that is more modern. It is something that is forward-looking and moving. And there is a perception out there that started as soon as the logo was considered. And one of our audience members actually took that photo and posted it, and the idea is that it was an ear. It's not. And I can understand the perception that was thought about when that image was posted. That was a really twisted image, and I understand the perception. I don't agree with it. And that's okay. We don't have to agree. That's great, because I'm not wrapped up about the logo. I'm wrapped up about providing service and looking to the future of our community. So now let's talk about cost. Who believes it cost $95,000 to get this logo? Okay, nobody in the audience believes it took $95,000. One, thank you for not believing social media. Two, it didn't take $95,000. In fact, the logo was developed with an entire all-in cost of $0, except for one polo shirt that was designed that I wore when we presented it to City Council. That's all it cost. The image designer that created it volunteered his time. All the committee members volunteered their time. There is a $95,000 number out there. And that is, if the city decided to rebrand everything all at once, and we got rid of all of the old logos, and I just want to show you, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is the old logo. I don't have to change this until it's time to change this. If I hand you my business card right now, it's the old logo. I'm not replacing my business cards until I run out of business cards. And then that's just a normal cost of doing business to replace that business card. Now, the biggest cost for our logo is adding the logo to a water tower that's on the south side of the bypass. It's a beautiful tower. Now, you may not think towers are beautiful, but I'm in the local government. You know, I think towers are beautiful. They're like, oh, it's got our water in it. You would think it's beautiful if you were drinking water out of it too, because it's clean. But there is space on that tower for logos. We purposely did not put the city's logo on it when that tower was built, because the governing body was talking about replacing the logo. So why would we put the old logo up there when we're already talking about replacing the logo? So we never spent the cost to put the logo up there. We saved that cost. Eventually, we're going to put the logo up there. City Council has to allocate the funding to do it. That's about $30,000, Mr. Osborne? We're getting estimates now. But I think it's about that cost, and I think that was for two water towers. We're only going to focus on that one water tower. So if we replaced every single logo along every vehicle that we have, every shirt that we have, everything that you see with the existing city logo, yeah, it'd be $95,000 today. We're not spending that today. We're going to spend that over the life of having to replace vehicles, having to replace uniforms, having to replace business cards. You can see we're using it. You can see it's on some of our banners, and thank you for using the new logo. But you can see other banners that are in here that still have the old logo on it. We'll replace that banner when it's time to replace the banner with the new logo. That was an all-in cost of $95,000. That'll be part of our existing budget over the next years as we replace things that need to be replaced, and then it'll have the new logo on it. It's kind of called attrition. That's what we're doing. It's efficient. There's no need for us to replace everything right now because it doesn't generate any income for our community. So we're just changing it as things need to be replaced. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, great. Thank you.
If memory serves me correctly, the net cost of things that we would have to replace, I think the sign at the City Hall and a couple things that would have to be changed, I think our net cost was $18,000, not $95,000. You're going to pay for a logo for the side of a truck, it's going to cost X. But instead of eyebrows, you're going to put the new logo on there. So the cost nets out. And that's what we were looking at whenever we did that. It's in the question of, and it was presented that way, that if all in, we just stopped and we just changed everything out, it would be $95,000. That's simply not the case. And I hope that you, at least if you didn't before, you now understand that and know that we are not just trying to be willy-nilly with funds.
So
I'm sorry, what did you say?
logo on the VA. Is the city's logo going to be on the VA facility?
Well, let's talk about that.
That could probably take some congressional action.
Yeah, that's
and we don't know how long it's going to be locked up.
Don't
in
think that's going to
discussions.
happen, but it's a wishful thought.
Also, if you're really, really interested in the logo, go to the city's website, Facebook page, look at the 30-minute video we did discussing the logo because it became a whole viral community discussion on it. So we did a video. We sat down and talked about it. So if you're that interested in it, go check out the video. Lots of good information in that video.
Correct information, not misinformation.
Okay, so we've reached the time allotted for questions. I do have 2 questions left. I'm going to give these to Mr. Kevin Keller, and he will reach out to the people that submitted these questions and get you the answers. That brings us to the conclusion of the 2026 State of the City Town Hall. Before you head out, we invite you to take a few minutes to visit each of the department booths around the room. This is a great opportunity to connect with city staff, ask additional questions, and learn more about the work happening across our community. We'd like to once again thank our event sponsor, Jimmy Clark Homes, and extend our deep appreciation to HEB of Coppers Cove, the Daisy, and A&L Florist for their support for tonight's event. Tonight's program was a collaborative effort between the City of Coppers Cove, the Coppers Cove Chamber and Visitors Bureau, and the Coppers Cove Economic Development Corporation. And if you'd like to watch it again or share it with someone who couldn't be here tonight, the event has been recorded, and it will be available soon on the city's YouTube channel. Thank you all again for joining us this evening. We hope you enjoy visiting with the departments, and please drive safely on your way home.